My F1 2024 predictions. I didn't do this video last time. I didn't have the time and I completely forgot about it. But Formula 1 in 2024. No testing has happened so far, but I thought I may as well make a video on this instead because, why not? And also because testing is like ages away and it's like a week before the F1 and I'm not going to have time to make a video before the first round of the season. I'm just going to go off my gut feeling. Let's go. So, starting off, we've got a few little categories to go over. We're going to be going over my F1 Constructors' Championship prediction, my most improved driver, my least improved driver, of course, biggest failure of the year, and finally, the full championship results. Plus, afterwards, probably in a part 2 to this video, I will be doing some predictions for my transfers for 2025. Let's go. Starting off, we are going to do the most improved driver, and I think this one's going to be very difficult actually to predict. There's a few drivers that are on my list for who could be the most improved. Obviously, Daniel Ricciardo, Alex Albon, Oscar Piastri. I think this is going to be a difficult one to do. Piastri had a really good rookie year, and I still feel like he's going to improve on that for 2024. For the other ones, I don't really know. So I'm going to make a prediction and just go with what I feel like my gut feeling is saying, and it's saying the most improved driver for 2024 will be Alexander Albon. Albon is a good driver. He had a great 2023. Of course, we know Williams scored 27 points in 2023. Out of that 27, 26 of them were scored by Alex Albon. Logan Sargent scored 1. He's going to leave the team, isn't he? Least improved driver, and I'm going to go out and say that it's going to be Zhou Guanyu. I don't see too much happening for Zhou Guanyu. And yeah, he's probably going to have his own home race for 2024, because China's on the calendar. It's been removed from the calendar over the last few years, but he's probably going to have that race because it hasn't been announced to be gone yet. Zhou Guanyu will be bringing in a lot of Chinese fans, but I don't see his future going much further than 2024. You can watch my transfers video to find that out. Zhou Guanyu is probably going to be the least improved driver, which is pretty unfortunate thinking about it when you've got drivers like Stroll and Sargent on there. Which actually brings me to my next category. Biggest failure of 2024 is going to be Lance Stroll. Stroll is in one of the greatest cars on the grid, or one of the greatest cars for the future of the grid, and he's going to fail. I have a feeling like Lance Stroll is somehow going to mess this up again, where Fernando Alonso is going to destroy him again. It seems just too obvious. Again, watch my transfers video. There's going to be a lot of interesting stuff for that video that will be connecting to this, but we'll get to that. Lance Stroll, biggest failure of the year. I think that was also the case for the last, 2,000 years. My F1 Constructors' Championship prediction. In 10th place, I'm going to put Sauber, because, obviously they're called the Stake F1 team, which is a stupid name. Just call it Sauber, or otherwise the F1 fans will call it Sauber. But yeah, so Sauber is going to be finishing 10th because they are not going anywhere with their team, I don't think. Next, number 9, the MoneyGram Haas F1 team. Yeah, Haas is just... they're not that good, but they did get rid of Gunter. And even though Gunter is... he was really funny and good for Drive to Survive, this isn't Drive to Survive, mate. Gunter Steiner is... yeah... he was probably dragging the team down. Number 8, we're going to be putting this... this is going to be a very close competition. For 8th place, though, I'm going to be putting Williams, because I can see Williams going far, but Racing Bulls F1 team, AlphaTauri, Racing Bulls, whatever you want to call it, they're going to have the more recent Red Bull as their car. I feel like they're going to have an advantage. So yes, 8th place Williams, 7th place Racing Bulls. For 6th place, we're going to be putting Alpine. Alpine is just an obvious one for that. I don't see them getting very far. I feel like Fernando Alonso is going to be pushing Aston Martin ahead by quite a bit. So I'm going to say 6th place Alpine, 5th place Aston Martin. I mean, Alpine don't even have a proper team principal. You can't say that they're going to have a good season. 4th place, I'm going to say it's going to be McLaren. They've got Lando, they've got Oscar. They've got one of the best driver lineups on the grid, I think. McLaren is is probably going to be fighting for race wins, hopefully. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Oscar got a win before Lando Norris. People will be making memes of it constantly. Third place, second place, and first place. Obviously, I can just chuck Red Bull in first. I think that one's pretty obvious. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be dropping very far. And with Verstappen in the car, it's so obvious that he's going to get first. But for second and third, based off of what I saw at the end of 2023, with Ferrari getting close to Mercedes, but Mercedes just having, like, George Russell on the podium in Abu Dhabi, Carlos Sainz finishing outside of the points, that didn't help them. So yeah, I'm going to say that Ferrari will be second, Mercedes will be third. Maybe that's my Ferrari syndrome, but, you know, this is just how I think it's going to go. Okay, for my 2024 World Championship predictions, let's go from the bottom to the top. Let's go, put a little list on the side, put the picture up there, because why not? 20th place, it might seem shocking based off of what we saw in 2023. I'm going to say Zhou Guanyu though. I don't have anything against Zhou Guanyu, but the Sauber car is not that good. And I feel like Zhou isn't going to push it very far. He had a pretty solid rookie season. It wasn't that good. People, I feel like, are making it seem so much better than it actually was. But now as well, seeing Oscar Piastri's rookie season, comparing that to Zhou Guanyu's rookie season, it's just like Zhou Guanyu did not have a very good rookie season. When it comes to overall career, 20th place in the championship is where I see Zhou Guanyu. 19th place, Logan Sargeant. That one isn't that difficult, and I don't feel like we're going to see Sargeant get very far. Yeah, 19th place, Logan Sargeant. That is all I can say. Valtteri Bottas, 18th place. Sauber, I said it before, and I'll say it again. Sauber probably does not have a very good car. Yeah, that's why I think Valtteri is going to finish 18th. It's nothing against Valtteri Bottas. He's a great driver, and I still feel like he's going to score decent points. But when you compare him to all the drivers ahead of him, and the fact that he is in that type of car, you can't really see him much further up the order. Maybe 17th if he's lucky, but that's it. 17th place, Kevin Magnussen. Didn't have a very good 2023 season, considering the fact that he had a pretty solid 2022 season. But maybe that was comparing it to Mick Schumacher, and then in 2023 comparing it to Nico Hülkenberg. It was a given. 16th place, I'm putting Yuki Tsunoda. Again, Yuki is a great driver, but considering the car, considering the other drivers, Yuki Tsunoda, 16th place, it seems like the spot. 15th place, Nico Hülkenberg. He is a good driver, and I feel like even though he is so old compared to some other drivers and has such a long career and no podiums, he's a good driver. And 15th place, I feel like, is as good as he can push that Haas. So I don't see Nico Hülkenberg going much further. 14th place, Daniel Ricciardo. Maybe this is the fact that I'm an Aussie, but I know there's a lot of people predicting that Daniel will do better than Yuki in 2024. Ricciardo had a great race in Mexico. We cannot forget that. Best result that AlphaTauri had all season. 4th place in qualifying in Mexico, and 7th place in the race. Probably would have been higher if it wasn't for all the yellow flags. But Daniel Ricciardo, P14 in the championship. 13th place, Alex Albon. I said it before, he is going to be the most improved driver. Albon is, yeah, he's a good driver, and he's showing now the potential that he has that he didn't show in the Red Bull a few years before. And it shows as well that Albon's career was not done. This is like now getting towards the peak of his career. Albon is bringing the Williams gold. Logan Sargeant might score 1 or 2 points. Albon might score 20 or 30. It's the fact that Albon is that good of a driver. I predicted that he would finish so low in 2023. Now I feel like an idiot for it. But, you know, now we have to be realistic here, and I see Albon 13th. Which seems bad on paper, but there's, like, the best teams are ahead of that, and he's in a Williams. He's not going to be in the fastest car in 2024. That is a guarantee. Watch Williams become, like, one of the top 4 teams. 12th place in the World Championship, and I can see Lance Stroll. Again, he's not going to be very improved, and you can watch my transfers video soon. right after this video, please. Lance Stroll, 12th in the championship. He's going to get destroyed by Fernando Alonso. He was going, instead of forwards in 2023, he was going further back than the car was showing. And at the beginning of the season, that were embarrassing. He's been in the sport now this is going to be his 8th year in the sport, and he's not improving. He's gotten worse over the last few years. Then we've got the French duo, 11th and 10th in the championship. In this order, Ocon 11th, Pierre Gasly 10th. Ocon is arguably the better driver on track, but he is also arguably the more aggressive driver on track. 7 DNFs. He has had the most DNFs out of any driver on the grid in 2023. Yes, even more than Logan Sargent, who had 6. They were only split by a few points. That's probably what's going to happen again. I can see Alpine being the closest teammate duo again, but Ocon behind Gasly. In 9th place, Fernando Alonso. It seems mean. It does seem very mean. But you consider the cars ahead of that, and you consider where Aston Martin was sitting at the end of 2023. Out of the first 6 races, he got on the podium 5 times. That is decent pace. Out of the last few races of the season, Alonso was on the podium once. Once. Out of the last, 6 races, he was on the podium once. Fernando Alonso is not a bad driver. We know that. And I'm 100% betting everybody wants to see Alonso win again. 2013 was his last win. Come on, we want to see him win again. The Aston Martin's not going to let him, and Lance Stroll is going to probably bring it down. So, Alonso will be the carry regardless. 8th place in the World Championship. We're going to put George Russell. It does not seem like a very good spot on paper. But Russell lost to Hamilton miserably in 2023. And he's a good driver. The Mercedes is a good car. But Russell makes too many mistakes. And of course we know every time he makes a mistake, he blames it on every other driver. Every time he does that. Runs into Sainz, he blames it on Sainz. Runs into Bottas, he blames it on Bottas. That's just what Russell does. And I feel like his DNFs are going to bring him down in 2024 more than his actual results. I feel like we will still see him get a few podiums at least. 7th place, Carlos Sainz. It seems like it's mean, again, with Alonso. But I feel like the season is going to end like it did in 2023 with 4th down to 8th in the World Championship being split by 10 points. Carlos Sainz 7th. Will we see him win again? Hopefully. But it's going to be a very close 7th. 6th place, Oscar Piastri. A really good rookie season, showing that he has the pace to be a world champion one day. We want to see Oscar win. We want to see Lando win. Oscar Piastri, 6th in the championship. That's all I can say. 5th in the world championship, Checo. It seems so harsh, but Perez proved at the end of 2023 that he was nowhere near the level of Max Verstappen. Verstappen finished with 573 points or something. Perez finished with 200 and whatever. He nearly lost to Hamilton. Come on. Perez is a good driver sometimes, but he makes too many mistakes. 4th place, Lando Norris. Number 4, 4th place. He's a good driver. We want to see Lando win. That's all I can say. 3rd place, we're going to put Charles Leclerc. I feel like he would want to fight for the title, and the Ferrari probably could fight up the front a lot of races, but it's going to be too many mistakes, I think. Too many mistakes that will cost Charles Leclerc the chance to win the title. Lewis Hamilton P2, Max Verstappen P1. Verstappen's probably going to dominate again, unfortunately. Hopefully with less wins, because we want to see more winners, we want to see more fighting. But Lewis Hamilton, I feel like, will still put up a fight against him regardless. Hamilton versus Max, Part 2. We're now just going to talk about the transfers for 2025.